Russiagate, just when you think it's dead, it's revived and worse than ever. Now, to be clear, I am not on the Russian payroll. I don't think Vladimir Putin is a good guy. And frankly, Russia is obviously not a friend of the United Corporations of America. A story comes out, it just so happens to come out as the Taliban and Afghan government are negotiating, trying to end this war, 20-year war. Just coincidental that this comes out then. But the New York Times reports Russia secretly offered Afghan militants bounties to kill U.S. troops. Intelligence says. Oh, intelligence says. That's never steered us wrong. The Trump administration has been deliberating for months about what to do about a stunning intelligence assessment. American intelligence officials have concluded that a Russian military intelligence unit secretly offered bounties to Taliban-linked militants for killing coalition forces in Afghanistan, including targeting American troops amid the peace talks to end the long-running war there, according to officials briefed on the matter. Oh, okay. These officials briefed on the matter. Did they provide any evidence of this? Do they have surveillance of conversations? What is the evidence of this? Or is the evidence, according to intelligence officials? The United States concluded months ago that the Russian unit, which has been linked to assassination attempts and other covert operations in Europe intended to destabilize the West or take revenge on turncoats, had covertly offered rewards for successful attacks last year. So I don't need to read you the rest. I think you get it. So, I don't know. Call me cynical. Call me a cynical Susie. But as a journalist, my first thought is to ask some basic questions. A, why exactly would the Taliban need incentive to try and kill American soldiers that are occupying Afghanistan? Yes, occupying Afghanistan. I think we're a little past the date of going after Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda. We're there 20 years. So why exactly would the Taliban need additional incentive or bounties? They're fighting a forever war. That's number one. Number two, have we not learned anything? I mean, I know the media hasn't learned anything because MSNBC in particular, once the Mueller report turned out to be a dud, their ratings, especially Rachel Maddow's ratings, went down the crapper. You know, once all those suburban wine moms and Chardonnay dads, or maybe I have it reversed, I don't know. Once their Cold War espionage thriller was off, they went back to watching something else because MSNBC's ratings tanked. So MSNBC, any revival of Russiagate is in their best interest. But I just want to know, as the American people, do we at all ask for evidence anymore of anything? Or is it just intelligence officials say? And by the way, then after this New York Times piece, the Washington Post, Fox News, and Wall Street Journal rushed to say, oh, we've confirmed this story. You've confirmed what? The same anonymous spooks leaking this? You haven't confirmed anything. You've just confirmed that certain intelligence officials are telling you something. I'd like to know, what is the evidence they're providing? Because it's completely possible this is true. Just like it was completely possible that Russia hacked the DNC. But if you haven't paid attention, hold on. Aaron Mate, who's been attacked for years, this is from just a little over a month ago. CrowdStrike, which the original espionage thriller that the DNC hacked, Russia hacked the DNC. Oh, that the New York Times and the Washington Post and all them breathlessly repeated because, quote, intelligence officials said so. CrowdStrike, the private cybersecurity firm that first accused Russia of hacking Democratic Party emails and served as a critical source for UN intelligence officials, acknowledged to Congress more than 2 years ago that it had no concrete evidence that Russia hackers stole emails from the DNC server. Shock. CrowdStrike's president, Sean Henry's admission under oath in a recently declassified December 2017 interview before the House Intelligence Committee raises new questions about whether special counsel Robert Mueller, intelligence officials, and Democrats misled the public. The allegation that Russia stole Democratic Party emails from Hillary Clinton, John Podesta, and others, and then passed them to WikiLeaks helped trigger the FBI's probe into now debunked claims of a conspiracy between the Trump campaign and Russia to steal the 2016 election. The CrowdStrike admissions were released just 2 months after the Justice Department retreated from its other central claims. Henry reiterated his claim on multiple occasions. There are times when we could see data exfiltrated and we could say conclusively, but in this case, it appears it was set up to be exfiltrated, but we just don't have the evidence that says it actually left. This is the CrowdStrike CEO under oath. There's not evidence that they were actually exfiltrated. There's circumstantial evidence, but no evidence that they were actually exfiltrated. If this is all a surprise to you, it's because Rachel Maddow didn't cover it. And the corporate media that's been breathlessly regurgitating this bullshit for 4.5 years didn't cover it. So this is the same corporate media that breathlessly regurgitated Russia hacked Vermont's electrical grid, that Russia, using microwaves, attacked American diplomats in Cuba. You remember that one? That was not true. Is it possible that Russia put out bounties for the Taliban to kill American soldiers? Yeah, but I kind of find it highly suspicious that this article is coming out at a time when, as Ben Norton points out, it's not a coincidence that these dubious Western intelligence agency claims about Russia came just days after a breakthrough in peace talks between Afghanistan and the Taliban. Afghanistan's geostrategic location and trillions worth of minerals, not to mention its poppy, is too important. The great game drags on. So why is it, if intelligence has known about this since, I think, March? Why is it, if they've known for months, that they're deciding to leak it now while Afghanistan and the Taliban are advancing in peace talks over a 20-year war? It just seems highly, highly, highly suspicious. Just look at the talk among reporters. If it is true, underline the word if, that they are paying surrogates to kill Americans, this is one of the most serious matters, I think, that has arisen in the Trump administration. This is from John Bolton. Now, it's very rare circumstances that I would quote John Bolton in the affirmative. But what I don't understand, and by the way, Bolton isn't the first one to talk like this. Other media outlets have reported it the same way. If this is true, well, if you don't know if it's true, why are you reporting it? I don't care if it makes Trump look terrible or not. Trump is looking terrible as it is. If the election were held today, it would be a landslide for Biden. You might not like that, but that's just the reality. The reality is Trump, unless something radically changes, or he radically changes his tone, tenor, moves far to the left, because as we've been talking about here, we are in a silent Great Depression. Why is this even being breathlessly reported on the Sunday shows and elsewhere under the guise of if this is true? Well, why does the media not have a higher standard where if intelligence, for example, here's a great example, okay? I'm not going to go into full detail, but you remember Status Coup with Vice broke a pretty big story a couple months ago. We found out that the governor of Michigan, Rick Snyder, who, by the way, was deposed for the first time Thursday and Friday in a civil lawsuit. Finally, he was made to, under oath, answer questions after 5 years of abstaining from that and avoiding that. We found out that he was warned over a year before the Flint water switch about the dangers of using the Flint water. We found out that he found out about the deadly Legionella outbreak in Flint in October 2014. That would be 16 months earlier than he told Congress. Why am I telling you this? Did Jen and I, who broke this story, did we just like hear this from a couple people and say, okay, we heard it from 4 people, so it's true? Which, by the way, most media reports are based on just hearing something from a couple people and breathlessly reporting it. I give you none other. Bernie Sanders told Elizabeth Warren women can't win the presidency. Why? Because 3 or 4 people close to Elizabeth Warren say so. No, Jen and I, without going into detail, we had more indication and more evidence than just people telling us something. So what are the multiple ways of learning something? Auditory, through the ears, listening, and visually. So you could be told things and you could be shown things, right? So I don't know. Call me cynical, call me naive, but I don't like to just breathlessly report espionage thrillers that nuclear power Russia paying off terrorist organization, the Taliban, to put bounties on American soldiers' heads without like more than just a couple spooks saying so. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.